and greetings. Welcome to my show, Browsing with Bridget. And of course, I'm Bridget, and I'm really browsing this time with a special guest, David de Alba. Did I say that right?
De Alba. David de Alba.
David de Alba. And anyway, he is going to, he is going to sing several songs for us, like what?
Well, I'm going to do La Macarena, which is a very famous song from Spain. And then I'm going to do Happy Trails to You, which is a song made famous by Roy Roger and Dale Evans. And at the end, we have a surprise song for you.
Very good. Okay, right now we need to go to a word from our sponsor and to find out more about David and how it's all happened. We'll see you right back. And welcome back to Browsing with Bridget. We have a special guest, like I said before. His name is David de Alba, and David is going to sing right off a song as Boy-Chic, and it's called La Macarena. So David, would you please?
De noche cuando me acuesto, le rezo a la Virgen de la Macarena. De noche cuando me acuesto, le rezo a la Virgen de la Macarena. Y allí solita en mi cuarto a mi virgencita le cuento mis penas. Y de corazón le pido que al gitano que yo quiero, mientras yo viva en el mundo, no me sea traicionero. Y mi virgencita de la Macarena, como es tan gitana, le da lo que pide, le da lo que pide a esta sevillana. Desde aquí está mirando a un trigueño que tiene sus ojos clavados en los míos. Desde aquí está mirando a un trigueño que tiene sus ojos clavados en los míos. Hombre que por su hechura a cualquier gitana le roba el sentido. Madrecita de mi alma, ay, si yo tuviera la suerte de que ese hombre tan gitano se decidiera a quererme. Y si lo consigo, le haré una novena a mi virgencita de la Macarena. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Come on, Tiger. And happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Till we meet again. I'm gonna live until I die. I'm gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna take this town and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live, live, live until I die. Quiero vivir, quiero cantar, quiero vivir, quiero soñar, quiero vivir, amar, reír, cantar. Quiero vivir, vivir hasta morir. Por eso canto, por eso río, vivo la vida, vivo feliz. Por eso canto, por eso río y digo así. Hallelujah, I'm gonna live until I die. I'm gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna take this down and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live, live, live until I die. Por eso canto, por eso río. Vivo la vida, vivo feliz. Por eso canto, por eso río y digo así. Hallelujah, I'm gonna live until I die. I'm gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna take this down and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live, 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 live until I die. This is a Judy Garland song from Carnegie Hall. Rockabye your baby with a Dixie melody. When you croon a tune from a heart of Dixie. Just hang my cradle, many mine, right on that Mason Dixie line, and swing it from Virginia to Tennessee with all the love that's in you. Weep no more, my lady, sing that song again. For me, sing all Black Joe, just as though you have me on your knee. A million baby kisses I'll deliver, The minute that you swing that Swanee River, rockabye, you rock my baby with a Dixie melody. Weep no more, my lady, sing that song again for me. Sing all Black Joe, just as though you have me on your knee. A million baby kisses I'll deliver the minute that you swing that Swanee River. Rockabye, you rock my baby with a Dixie melody.
And welcome back. You're watching Browsing with Bridget. And today I'm browsing with David de Alba.
Hello.
And welcome to my show, David.
It's nice to be
And I
here.
want to thank you for that outstanding performance as a Boy-Chic.
Yes.
And while, okay, you were born in Cuba, right? And your ancestry is from Galicia, am I saying this right?
Galicia, Spain.
Galicia, Spain, which is, of course, Castilian Spain, over from Europe. And I would like to ask, you said you performed as Boy-Chic. Can you explain to me that expression?
Okay, in my performances I do different illusions of female singers, like I'm known for doing Judy Garland live and her daughter Liza Minnelli, but because I also do other acts, this act which we labeled Boy-Chic, this allows me to do different songs of different artists. So I can do my Latin act, I can do my French songs, a tribute to a very famous lady
Next
from
time you come back,
Paris.
you do
Edith Piaf.
Must,
A lot of people don't remember her, but in Europe they do.
Yeah, I do. And then the other thing I want to say, in musical terms, your type of voice professionally would be called falsetto.
Yes.
You have a beautiful falsetto voice. And so that brings me to the question, how did you get started doing this?
Well, in the late 60s, when I was in Chicago, Illinois, I was going to junior college, and I took a lot of dramatics and speech therapy and elocution because I wanted to be in the theatrical arts, dancing lessons and singing with coaches and so on. Anyway, I was seen by well-known hairdresser in Chicago who had a lot of connections with the newspapers, and he said, we're having a big Halloween ball show at the Aragon Ballroom, which is very famous in Chicago, where all the big bands used to play. And he made me up, and he created, for the first time in my life, a female character, and he says, you look like Judy Garland. So they made up costumes for me and so on, and that's how I appear first in my life as a female doing Judy. Now, to me, of course, because a lot of people may not be acquainted, this is not a lifestyle for me. This is only a performance when I come out dressed as a girl.
Right.
Actually, I don't do just a girl. I do famous women, so it's not just any
There you
women.
go.
But then once I'm out of the show, the show goes backstage, and then I come out as
And
myself.
you-
So that's a
you're David
difference,
de Alba,
so
right.
people understand where
Right.
I'm coming from.
Well, that's really interesting, and you, of course, the reason we haven't seen you around, because you have primarily appeared in Northern California, you've worked at the famous club in
Finocchio. Finocchio
sorry.
Club.
The Finocchio Club, and it's in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
Okay? So a lot of people that have settled down here from San Francisco will probably know that. And you've also appeared at many television and radio shows in the Bay Area, right? And especially on Bob
Yeah.
McKenzie's segment number 2?
Yeah, segment 2 is a very
what kind
famous.
of show was that?
Well, Bob Mackenzie did a show about my Judy Garland collection and my Judy Garland act, and that was a very well-known show that actually went through cable through the whole country, so it was seen
You know,
nationwide.
your dressing room must look fabulous. You must have all these costumes.
Yeah, I have so many
Wonderful
costumes
costumes.
and all these beautiful arrangements. Some of them were actually the truly Garland arrangements, and some were arrangements I paid myself, and some were given to me by my famous friends from Cuba, Olga Chorens and Tony Alvarez, which, by the way, the song La Macarena, that's a song that Olga Chorens, who is very famous among the Cuban people and Puerto Ricans, made famous.
All right. And so you grew up in a cultural setting. You must have. Because what you're trying to do with the songs that you sing is keep the old cultural songs alive.
Because it's a shame that the new generation nowadays, they don't have, like we used to have in the 60s, and even when I was a baby in the 50s, musical
Right.
shows in this country, from the Ed Sullivan Show to all kinds of musical shows. Now there's no musical shows except on MTV, some kind of a rock show, so
Right.
then nobody's exposed to
Absolutely.
the songs. So now, to me, when I do my shows, not only am I trying to do some beautiful Latin American songs so the American audiences can hear some of the pretty songs from Cuba and Spain and South America, so
Right.
they're exposed to different Latin sounds, but also the songs that were famous, and what I don't understand when people tell me the old songs. And I was talking to my mother and different people, and we were saying, when Judy Garland was a teenage girl, she was doing old songs, and she was a young girl now. So you don't have to be an old person to do old songs, because
Absolutely
it's
not.
just like history.
Right.
We have Bach and Mozart. These are things that have been for ages and ages.
Right.
So it's a pity not to continue, so the new kids could know what the Wizard of Oz is like.
Absolutely.
And nice things, not always to have just movies with violence
Right.
and killing, and they don't see the pretty part of life.
Oh,
the sweetness,
I'm all for that.
we don't smell the flowers. We have flowers. Nobody smells the flowers anymore.
No, because
Life is not.
culture has kind of taken a backseat. Unfortunately, television has taken over, and
And the big musical stars have died, like Judy and
Yeah.
Ginger Rogers and
that's
so
a
on.
shame.
And
That
the-
should not be, and you shall not let it die.
No, so as long as we are alive, we can try.
Now, did your parents, were they supportive?
Oh yes, my parents were supportive, because I always have gone by a motto from a school that says, from a play, Shakespeare, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night, the day, thou canst be false to any man. If you're happy with yourself and you do something with sincerity and love, the people will see it with that kind of a feeling, and they will not be afraid of you. Surely, like even famous people, they say, people are so afraid of you because you are almost untouchable. But once you get to see the person, we are all humans.
Okay. Well, right now you're so interesting. Right now it's time to go to a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back. And we're back, and welcome to back to my show, Browsing with Bridget. And we're sitting here with David de Alba, who is an impersonator, singer, artist, you name it, right?
Yes.
What more titles could we have?
Well, I call myself a singing female illusionist, because most of the impersonators, they lip sync or pantomime to
Oh,
a
I see,
recording.
okay,
In my
okay.
case, and also there's two other ones who are known for that, I sing live with my voice.
Right,
It's not a
you're
record.
Right, you're absolutely right.
So
yes.
that's the difference. And also,
Okay, so an impersonator, they lip sync, and
What?
you actually did the songs here. I believe it because I heard it myself.
yes.
so.
Well, some impersonators, most of them do pantomime, but some impersonators sing or do comedy live, but they are not in the majority because
Okay.
most impersonators' voices are not that high.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you obviously go to school or training?
Yes,
To,
I took training. Of course, I took training with makeup artists and took training with
Right.
vocal coaches, and then especially watching the famous women I do, which were my best masters. And some of them, I was very lucky to meet some of them, like Judy,
You
which
did
I met.
meet her?
Yes,
Oh.
and she was very gracious. And when I said to her as a teenager, "I do you" on the stage, she said, "Do you like me that much?" And I said, "Oh yes, I adore you." So she was
Oh.
charming to be around. I
Wonderful.
saw her several
so,
times.
what other personalities have you met while we're on
Well,
that subject?
I have so many pictures of people. Sounds like I have met, when I was working at Finocchio Club, many famous people came every night. So from the famous Colonel from the Kentucky Fried Chicken, he was
Yes.
there with his white hat.
Oh, for heaven's
He was
sake.
there from Arthur Murray, Richard Chamberlain, Robert Wagner,
Oh.
Carol Channing, Liberace. I mean, the list were endless.
on and
So you
on.
never knew who was sitting there. And of course, big play
Yeah.
cast like from Hello Dolly, Mame from Las Vegas, any of those kids that came in that were doing tours.
Does this club still exist in
Yes,
San
the
Francisco?
club is very famous and it still exists.
What area is it in?
It's
San
right on Broadway.
Okay.
And it's called, it's owned by a family, the Finocchio Italian family for years and years. Mr. Finocchio died a few years ago, but his wife and his children continue owning.
Okay, so you always did it as a single act, or did you
No.
did you also belong to a,
No,
a group? maybe?
that show at Finocchio is a review. We had dancers and singers. So my spot was either an opening in the show, or sometimes I closed the show, and sometimes I was in the middle. And I did my Latin American songs, and I also did Judy and Liza in the show.
I see.
Also, I'm known for doing Pierrots, the French Pierrot, and the happy and sad clown. So I do the happy clown and the hobo with a dirty face, like Judy and Fred's there from
wow.
Easter Parade. So I used to do those clowns on the which I still do, singing
So
wise.
do you also then handle like maybe bigger private parties? How does someone get a hold of you, or how do you do it
Well,
to perform it?
before I moved to Bullhead City, which everybody says, why did you come to Bullhead City?
Right.
Well, I like to be near the casinos, and I wanted to be not in a very big area like Las Vegas, which is getting too
big
full
of
of
a
people.
city, yes.
And I like Lake Tahoe and Reno, but unfortunately there's snow, and I don't like the cold weather. So
Okay.
the closest I could either was this or Atlantic City, and Atlantic City snows too.
Right.
So here we can only be an hour and a half drive to Las Vegas if I had to do a show there, and we have the river. That's why I selected
So
this
how did
area.
you come to hear about Bullhead City?
Bullhead City by accident, because when we took tours to Laughlin, and I heard about Laughlin and Bullhead City, and I came back to study the area. I said, well, let's make our home here. Originally, we were living in Santa Cruz, California, our last home, and then we moved. I was in New Mexico for a while, where I did some shows, and then we moved to Scottsdale.
So at
and,
one time, did you ever have an agent?
Yes, I used to have agents in California and Chicago, and of course, once you were working at Finocchio, I didn't need to work with an agent,
Didn't
because
need it,
this
yeah.
is a very famous club where you got hired under contract, verbal contracts.
Right.
Then once I left the Bay Area, I'm on my own. So now, for example, in the station, I'm here. It's like a home base to me. Anybody who wishes my services, like to do a special concert type appearances in a casino or that kind of a big event, they can call the station, and we can.
Okay, they can call us, and we'd be happy to forward it to you. No problem there. Also, we have a fax number, 758-1653, or our phone number, 758-8828. So if anybody would like to know more about David de Alba and all the personalities he can sing and perform, please call and find out about it. You never know. It may be the hit of the night or the hit of the evening,
Yes.
right? It probably will be. From the performances I've seen here, it's got to be. So the other thing I wanted to ask you is from doing all these famous things, how did you finish school ultimately, or how did you?
Oh yes, I finished high school and I went to college for 3 years. I'm also known for my hair and makeup work. I used to
Okay,
own a
yeah,
shop.
that's what I wanted
Yeah, I used to own a shop in San Francisco that used to get to be on TV all the time with documentaries, not just for the hair work, but because I used to have these beautiful movie stars pictures all over the wall, some of them that I met and so on with autographs to me. So a lot of big TV stations came and they used to say, here's the singing hairdresser who does hair and who sings a Finocchio at night. So I used to get known for those two things.
So you first started out as the singing hairdresser? That's really cute.
And I even got to meet Marlene Dietrich. Talk about German.
Talk about German.
And and I got to meet her, and she said to me backstage, "For not being German, you're okay in my book." Yeah, she liked me.
And I bet that's exactly how she said that.
Yeah, because she was very truthful. She, she liked, and I was very complimentary to her. But I got to meet a lot of big
all
names.
the memories you have. You
Nice
should
memories.
write a book.
I should write a book.
Yes.
But at least through the songs, new people that come in and the older generation, they know who Judy Garland is. They know who Liza Minnelli is.
Right.
I do the songs of Shirley MacLaine from Sweet Charity and beautiful Latin American songs. And I see all these lovely Spanish people in town who some of them don't speak English. And I said, it would be nice to do some Spanish song format in a nightclub so they have a venue to see, because unless like now Jose Feliciano is coming to town or Vicky Carr, nobody's representing the Spanish people musically wise here in Las Vegas, maybe not here.
I don't know about Jose. I think Jose Feliciano is probably pretty well known. It might not be with the young folks. I'm not sure.
Not now with the teenagers, because but people
You're
over 40 they know.
They know,
No, the teenager, unless you are 12, unless you are 17. Anybody over 17 is dead and said, who is that? But there's plenty of people over 40 in this country.
Okay, well, again, if anyone that sees this program, David de Alba is more than happy to share his, what shall I say, performances.
And musical knowledge.
Musical knowledge with anyone, and you're free to call TV28. And that reminds me, how did you find us? Did you just channel surf? Or?
Well, one of your guys who works for you in the show, Paisley, mentioned what a wonderful home-based operation this was, and I thought, well, it's nice to get to know the people if you're going to live in a town, you have to get to know the people that are with you. And I thought, why take talent and money away from Laughlin and Bullhead City? So keep it in town.
Okay, that's great. Well, we were so fortunate to have you here and your talent, and of course I hope people like it. And we'll wind the show up with the song, an American song.
Yes, Happy Trails to You,
Trails to You,
which was Roy Rogers and Dale Evans' theme song.
Well, come back, David. Auf Wiedersehen.